what does the sun teach us about agriculture? Alright, I'm gonna show you on a practical level. I'm gonna explain in a practical form. But first, just remember this principle, because in schools they taught us that education is the key. But real life show otherwise. We know say a preparation are the key. So I'm just gonna turn the camera around and show you something. See, now you know that if you have farm on a big scale, you know, and stuff like that, the preparation of the land is very important. So normally, especially if I first I go work the land, you want to give your first plowing like in a January, because you have to understand the most important thing about the sun, because that's what we're going to talk about. The sun gives us the 4 cardinal points. You understand? So we call them the equinox, the spring equinox. It happens in like this time of the year in the north hemisphere, and like September, October in the southern hemisphere. And then you have the summer solstice. We happen in you know, the middle of that time. So like in June, that's one, right? So the sun is very important to mark, because it's mark the beginning of the year. Now after December, in December, the sun basically makes a turn. So that's one point of the sun, right? So in January, you want the moon. After that, you want to give the land the first plowing, right? You give the land the first plowing and you make it go and rest. Now coming again, you're in March now, and that's why you give your land the second plowing, because they are get ready for the planting, for the beginning of the year. Now this is what a lot of people don't understand, especially religious people who do not farm. You cannot start your new year, or what you call renewal, because renewal is something physical, is something practical, is something that you have to experience. Or you call it resurrection, the resurrection of the light coming back into the northern hemisphere, right? The sun has to physically come back in the northern hemisphere before you can say there's a renewal, or there's a beginning of year, or starting of year, or new year, right? So anybody you say they keep Passover already, or say the new year start already, you know, say that a madness, because the sun is still over and the southern hemisphere. Now it takes 3 days to traverse the equator. So like the 19th, the 20th, the 21st of March, right? Anybody start them new year before the 20th, you know, so them don't know what them are saying. So the sun, here how it work now, because it's a balance between masculine and feminine energy, not male and female, but masculine and feminine. They have to come back to a unified polarity. So this is where the polarity is neutralized between, you know, the sun and the moon. Then the moon that comes after the sun comes into our hemisphere, that's when the renewal starts. So like right now, we just got through the last new moon for this year. So here we are, the sun now, in the midst of this moon, the sun is gonna enter our northern hemisphere. So the moon that comes after the sun enters the northern hemisphere, that is the beginning of the year. So what are you gonna look for in the next new moon? You're gonna start see if you have yoke trees. We have some yoke trees around at the back. We just harvest a lot of them still. But look for your yoke trees or certain other trees, you will start seeing the pink flowers. So that is the renewal moon, or in the Hebrew term they would say the month of Abib, or in Greek terms they would say the month of Osiris. Osiris is just the Greek name, because the African terminology is Asar, A-S-A-R, or most of you guys would call it Ishtar or Easter. It just means the renewal, right? So we understand the points of the sun. That's very important for agriculture. So that's it. When you go towards your vegetation, your planting and all of that, you deal with the earth, right? So let me show you now. The sun I go come back 0 degrees east in a few days, and you don't experience it. Like me say, one practical thing is your pin close on the line outside, you will notice the sun hits different on that time of the year, right? Or if your veranda is facing the sunrise, you will notice the sun hit it. You're gonna experience it, because it's something physical, right? It's something you can experience. Remember, knowledge plus experience equal wisdom. Wisdom is action, manifestation. So 0 degrees east, the sun will come back. Then what happens now after that? Every moon, the sun starts travels north of the east. You understand? So you'll have 3 moons. When you reach the 3rd moon of the year, what happened with the sun now? The sun start go round back. It ascends higher and it go round, so the sun now the earth don't get hotter. So remember, 0 degrees east, you have the first moon, second moon, third moon, and then the sun turns again and you have the fourth moon. So this time now is where the sun is at a very high point, where it starts to pump all the helium in the earth. It pumps all the energy. So that's the time you do what? Harvest. You harvest in the fourth moon after the sun enters the hemisphere. So this is very important for us to know, because the sun itself teaches us that, but it speaks to us through experience. Now what happens is, why experience gets corrupted is because we put narratives, our stories, our beliefs over what we're experiencing. This is why everybody come and tell you, okay, this is the beginning of the year, but you cannot go to the experience of the beginning of the year. One thing they can tell us, say, oh, that's the time where agriculture starts, but when do you actually look for it, right? So this is very important for us to understand what the sun is teaching us about agriculture. But not only about agriculture, you know, as I say, the 4 cardinal points is very important. Again, there is experience and there is belief. There is story. There are stories. So it's the same thing we want to have as the Roman cross of Christianity, right? It has always been the 4 cardinal points. So in your prayers, just like how someone will say, in the name of Jesus, your prayer is supposed to be from the east to the west, from the north to the south. You see that? There's horizontal and there's the 4 cardinal points. But your belief system is, oh, it's the cross. You understand? So that's where you have, okay, I'm not going to get into that aspect of it, but I think you guys get the point why that's important. Now, in terms of the Levitical priesthood, this is the same experience when they would do the heave offering and the wave offering. You understand? The wave offering, you go from shoulder to shoulder. Yeah, similar. And the heave offering now is like you're giving to the Most High, but back to you. You see that? So from the east to the west, your wave offering. Yeah. From the north to the south, your heave offering. And that's what the prayer is about. That's the 4 cardinal points. The sun is a portal. You understand? So like I said, the beginning of the year, the sun and the moon, they come back to a unified polarity. And that's what God is. God is light. But not light as in the physical light that we see, but it's just the indivisible, or the before separation, before illusion, before identity, before interpretation. That unified thing that was there, that was never divided. Because think about light, right? When you shine light, like white light for example, it goes through the prism of our mind. So it's fractured into different colors. So if we can go back before it is divided, that's what God is. That's what the light means. Unity, oneness. So that is what's going to happen in a few days. The sun and the moon comes back to this unified point of polarity, before separation, before division. This is why they call it equal day and night. It's equal energies of polarity. So in this time, just go and make use of, sort out your land, how you want to do it. Because we don't really oppress yourself when we are working. So you dig your hole them, you have your seed them already. You have your little seedlings and stuff where you dig. So you don't want to use up your water like that. So you just wait for the rain to fall. You say any day the rain fall, at that time you transplant or something them. You understand? Oppress yourself with the heap of hard work. Yeah, they may look like a whole heap of bush, but medicinal herbs them there. So that's why you see some have to take time to grow on it. But as you can see, all of the planting them plant off in a row, go straight across. We have the citrus them over there, so it look like a bush from here. So, but I don't really bush them. There's some serious herbs. You understand? But I hope this give you some irids towards this, the knowledge of the sun, because the sun descends its own knowledge into a consciousness. You understand? This is where you have the pineal gland, the balance between light and dark. You understand? It deals with the brain chemicals, serotonin and melatonin. That's why you see sleeping is important, and your sleeping state and your waking state, there's always a balance. So we have to get that understanding of what happens internally, not just physical out there, but also internally. And this is why you see them change the whole calendrical system. So throw you off balance, throw you off with your spiritual alignment, throw you off with your metabolism and your melanin and all of these things. You understand? So we just live in a whole working cycle non-stop. Remember, the sun coming into our hemisphere now is the time to work. You understand? But so come in September, October, especially in the winter, It's a whole meditation period that everything gone dormant. So it's the same thing your energy, your internal energies do, you know. It got dormant. Nobody needed to do their hard work in the winter like how they would work in the summer and spring. That's a madness. You understand? But just understand the cycle.